Welcome on in. This is Three Bold Takes. Quinn, Freddie, and Chase here as always, man. We're doing some more pick'ems of the week. We've been kind of ramping up a little bit. We missed last week. Freddie on a cruise with his wife, his lovely lady. And so we weren't able to have Freddie here, the man and the myth and the legend now. But we're all back. We're ready. We're excited. Get to do some more pick'ems. And it's actually kind of good that we had a week off because the takes that I was making were just unhinged, some may say, and that's probably why my record is showing that so. And we're going to get into some more this week, so maybe I'll be a little more conservative with what I have. But we're going to start off with Iowa at Rutgers, a 7 p.m. game on Friday, September 19th. You don't have Friday plans. You might not still have any. So the Iowa is a 2.5-point favorite for this game. Over under is 45.5 at Rutgers. This is going to be just a thrilling, fun one. Quinn, give it to me.
Yeah, let me make a pitch to you for your Friday night. Do you like punters? Do you like field position? Do you like being able to leave the house for 3 hours, come back, and the score not change? This is the game for you, man. Look, all seriousness, I think Rutgers is taking a little bit of a step back this year. Iowa needs to rebound after the Iowa State loss a couple of weeks ago, get into Big Ten play, get themselves right so that they can finish in the middle of the Big Ten like they always do. So I like Iowa to get it done here, probably win the game by like 4 points and like an ugly 14-10 type beat over Rutgers. So give me Iowa to get the win.
I'm going to say this, Quinn. That is the least bold take that you could have, was that the score would be 14-10 for an Iowa football game. We're looking at an over-under of 45.5. Hammer the under there. I'm going to go Iowa to win as well. Chase, I know that probably hurts your heart as you love your Rutgers Scarlet Knights, but I think it stops here against Iowa. Again, just like Quinn said, they need a bounce-back win. Heartbreaking loss to Iowa State. I think they get back on the train. I actually probably think they score 20 points in this game. That's a bold take here. I've got Iowa at 20 points. Probably winning like a 20-15 type game. So that's 35 if you're keeping track for the over-under.
Whoa, Freddie, chill out. That is, whoa.
Yeah. As much as I would love to sit here and tell you that Rutgers is going to just absolutely just smash this team, what did I say when I got on here? I had to be a little more conservative. Rutgers this season, I mean, they're on a 3-game win streak, but who have they played? They played Ohio, the Maction, in week 1. Then they played Miami of Ohio. They did win both of those games. Great games for them, but I don't know. You see Iowa win these just disgusting games. Honestly, you guys say 14, 20 points. This is probably going to be like a 13-4 game. I don't know how it's going to happen. But it's fucking just because of the way Iowa plays defense and the way that they can't score the ball. So I'm going to take Iowa in this one too. I'm going to get a clean sweep. At least if I miss on this one, I feel good that Rutgers won, but also at the same point, we all lose. So that's okay with me. So I'll take that one. But I'm going to go Iowa just because they have a strong defense, and Rutgers, you got to show me a little something before I pump you up too much.
Hey, I will say this, beating Ohio, not a small task. West Virginia wasn't able to do it. So,
Fair enough.
Shout out Rich Rod. Next up, we'll go to number 17, Texas Tech, and right next to them at number 16, Utah, an 11 a.m. kick on Saturday, September 20th. Now, this one, if you don't have plans, this one might be fun to watch. A little bit of a shootout, hopefully, if Utah can man up their offense. But Utah's favored in this one, 3.5 points. The over-under is 56.5, of course, at home for Utah, another big one. Freddie, what do you take away from this one and the new Utes without Cam Rising?
So this one is a tough one because so far both of these teams have started the season 3-0, ranked in the top 20 each, which is awesome to see for Utah and Texas Tech. I was high on the Texas Tech train last year. I was a year early, it seems. However, both of these teams have played just cans of corn, it seems. I mean, just like both of the – okay, first off, Utah starts with UCLA in week 1. Get a huge win, 43-10, and we're like, oh, my God, Utah is back. They're so back. Turns out UCLA is the worst Power 5 program in history. Okay. Then you play Cal Poly, Wyoming, whatever. You look at Texas Tech, same deal. Arkansas Pine Bluff, they won by 60. They won by 50 plus against Kent State. And then they beat so sad Oregon State by 40. So we have yet to see either of these teams play a team of even decent competition or level. So this is going to be a great game. The line on this game at 3.5 is simply because it's at Utah. Because again, Vegas does not have a lot of information to go off of for either of these teams. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Utah here to win at home. I just like what I've seen from their defense so far. Again, I just contradicted myself because they played cans of corn. I mean, there's no stats to back up what I'm saying here besides the fact that Utah historically over the past 10, 15 years has played solid defense. And I think they're going to lean into that in this game. The over-under is at 56.5. Wow. I don't know. I'd probably take the under there, but give me Utah to win at home.
Yeah, no, and I may end up regretting saying this because it's like you said, they haven't played much of nobody yet, and the Big 12 is so chaotic. But this game has some like late 90s Tennessee, Florida vibes for me in the sense that like whoever wins this game is going to set themselves up in really good position in the Big 12 title race to go come in second place of the Iowa State Cyclones. Okay, so that's what's on the line in this game, all right? Now for me, I'm leaning a little bit more Texas Tech. I know they haven't really played much of anybody either way, but it's the in and out execution I've seen from Texas Tech's offense on every single drive in these early games. Because even when you're playing against no one, you're playing against air. It's hard to execute at the rate that they're executing. So I kind of like the Red Raiders to go in, get the job done here in Utah. Now, again, I would not be surprised because Freddie, you mentioned it, and it's true. Utah has kind of made a living off of having teams much better than this Texas Tech team come into their stadium, get into an ugly mud fight, get beat around in the trenches, and leave with like 3 black eyes. How do you get 3 black eyes? I don't know, but they give them to you. Okay. So I'm going out on a limb. I'm taking Texas Tech because I'm high on the Red Raiders, but I'm afraid I might end up regretting it long term.
Yeah, I think this is a really fun one because I was really down on who Utah was going to be this season, and they have actually showed up pretty well. Again, like Freddie mentioned, they haven't played a whole lot, but it's just nice to see that they're beating who they're supposed to beat early on in this season. And definitely without Cam Rising, because the last couple of years with figuring out where Cam Rising was and what he was doing, it seemed like they lost a lot of their identity and who they were for the Utes. They still hung their hat on their defense, but their offense was just non-existent. Couldn't help them. Now this season, Dampier's playing extremely well for him. 7 touchdowns on the year so far in the 3 games that they played, but they just haven't played much. Texas Tech hasn't played a whole lot more either, but Kent State and Oregon State is a little better than UCLA and Cal Poly in my feelings. Definitely the way UCLA has showed up. So I think I'm going to go with the Quinn here. I like what Texas Tech can do. I think their offense is very high flying. They've scored 45 or more in every game this season. And so this is going to be a test of which is better, Texas Tech offense or the Utah defense. And right now I'm going to take Texas Tech and hang my hat on that because I definitely think if Texas Tech can score at least 3 times, you're really going to put pressure on that Utah offense to have to score points on a Power 4 opponent. So I'm going to take Texas Tech in this one.
Guys, we're going to move on here. Chase had to drop really quick, but he should be back here in just a minute. But we're going to move on to this is an interesting game, 11 o'clock game. Arkansas just got done narrowly losing to Ole Miss in an awesome thriller at night at Ole Miss. They travel to Memphis, which I did not catch that when I first looked at it, but this game is at Memphis. Currently, Arkansas is a 6.5-point favorite in the game, with a 60% chance to win, according to ESPN. This game is at 11 o'clock. Quinn, that you brought up something interesting beforehand on a trend I did not see.
Yeah. Right before we started covering this, I brought up, just in the last couple of years, we saw Alabama go to South Florida. We've seen Ole Miss go to Tulane. We saw Oklahoma literally just last week go to Temple. What's with all these SEC teams playing on the road against American Conference teams?
I wonder if they
Like,
have some sort of conference deal. I don't know.
well, it's like the 2-1, right? Like it's the trendy thing to do right now, where they do the 2 home games, 1 road game with the American teams.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. I mean, hey, it's interesting. Liberty Bowl's a nice place to play a game. Arkansas is familiar with it. That's their favorite bowl destination. So like right now we've got Arkansas versus Memphis in the Liberty Bowl. Look, Memphis is in a good spot. They've gotten 2 teams off of letdown moments, right? They just got done beating up Troy 28-7. And what do I mean on a letdown moment? Troy put all of their effort into trying to make Clemson an 0-3 football team, and they came this close. All right. Then they had to turn around and play Memphis, and they got thwacked. All right. Arkansas just got done almost upsetting an Ole Miss team with their backup quarterback on the road, and now they got to turn around and play Memphis. Look, this is a sneaky place for the Razorbacks to drop one. And as much as I want to believe in Arkansas and Sam Pittman, right? And I think that they could be a football team that could get to a bowl game if the cards fall just right. This is one of those games they cannot lose. You have to win this football game against Memphis. And it just feels like the most Arkansas move to drop this game by 2 points on the road. So I think Memphis is going to get the upset in the Liberty Bowl over Arkansas. This is their highlight game of the year, and it is a very winnable game for Memphis. I think they're going to snag Arkansas in an upset here.
Wow.
I mean, hear me out. Other than Alabama on the road against Florida State, what bad out of conference showing has the SEC really had? I think this is going to be. I mean, I know Texas lost by 7 to Ohio State. That was a super competitive.
Yeah. That I'm not even. That's not in the same stratosphere.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with everything that you've said as far as this would be an Arkansas thing to do, to lose to Memphis. Listen, this is a huge moment for Memphis when it comes to playoff implications here.
Yeah.
You got, I mean, just a handful of teams in the group of 5 that's got a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. You've got Memphis, you've got USF, Boise, and I think Tulane are probably the 4 teams that are like they have a legitimate chance. And this is one of those resume builders because honestly, if Memphis loses this game, it does not hurt their chance to make the playoffs at all, in my opinion, because it's an SEC game, right? It's early on, whatever. They can still win their conference and everything's good. However, Boise lost to South Florida. So when you start looking at out-of-conference games, if you pull this game off, you've got a lot of weight that you can pull. Even if you have one more loss than say a Boise State, it's still possible with games like this if you win. You mentioned the Arkansas Ole Miss game. One of the things I want to bring up about Arkansas is Taylon Green is their leading rusher, right? Which, okay, whatever, he's a mobile quarterback. But this is Arkansas we're talking about here. This should be a team that can just line up and run it down your throat, in theory. However, the past couple of years, their offensive line has been weak. And that's something that at Arkansas is not normal per se. But when it becomes 2 to 3 years in a row, it starts to become normal again. And so that's what I fear for Arkansas moving forward. They're going to have to run the ball in this game effectively. But I said this about USF against Boise State. I called that upset because the USF boys are big, they're physical, and they know how to play on the line of scrimmage. And that's what Memphis is too, has been for a decade plus. They get the right folks to control the line of scrimmage. So this is going to be a line of scrimmage battle here of epic proportions between Arkansas and Memphis. I think Arkansas wins the game, but it's going to be a narrow win here on the road at Memphis. Great out-of-conference game here at 11 o'clock on the 20th.
Hey, I'll say this really quick right as we're wrapping up, too. Just speaking on the American and the G5 representative for the playoffs. Not only do you can afford to lose the game and be fine, and the reason for that is the American Conference kind of has the benefit of the doubt treatment over all the other G5 leagues, right? And it's because they play these type of games as a conference all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great point. The American, I think, is definitely the standard whenever it comes to Group of Five football. Last year, they kind of beat up on each other, and that's what really hurt them in getting a spot in the college football playoff. So moving on to the next 11 o'clock game, we've got SMU traveling to TCU. Both teams coming to this game unranked. Remember, SMU was ranked top 15 in preseason. They, in turn, got beat by Baylor in double overtime, which that game was not even close for a long time, and Baylor came back and pulled that off in the end. TCU, on the other hand, as we know, in week one, they beat the soul and will to live out of Bill Belichick in North Carolina, then just got done beating on Abilene Christian, which, by the way, TCU beat North Carolina worse than they did Abilene Christian. Just a fun fact there. TCU is a 6.5-point favorite in the game. According to ESPN, a 67% chance to win this one. How you going this one, Quinn?
Yeah, this is another one of my like all-time favorite rivalry game trophies, the Iron Skillet. It's fantastic, beautiful. SMU on the road against TCU, man, they got the better of them in the last matchup. I don't see it holding over this time around. And maybe this is recency bias with them losing to Baylor, but TCU impressed me with how dominant they were against North Carolina, even though North Carolina kind of looks like a joke this season. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yep.
This is a home atmosphere for TCU, a chance to really, really get their season kicked off in the right direction with a second P4 out of conference victory in one like pre Big 12 season, and both against the ACC, but P4 nonetheless. So I like TCU. I'm riding with the ESPN prediction here. I'm going TCU to not only beat SMU but cover the 6.5.
Yeah, I agree with you, Quinn. I'm going TCU here as well. Same situation. One of the things that I look at, and honestly, and impressed with SMU is their running ability. They've been able to run the ball effectively this year. However, I watched that TCU North Carolina game, and that's the only TCU game I've watched this year because they have not played anybody with a pulse since then. But they were able to dominate that game from start to finish on both sides of the football, whether it was the line of scrimmage, special teams, the wideouts, running back. The whole game was dominated by TCU. And honestly, it was a breath of fresh air because you had them playing in the national title, and they were terrible last year. So to have them actually be decent this year is a fun sight to see. And it also throws another wrench into the Big 12. Which is already a mess right now on who could actually win that conference. We made a whole video on that one, so go watch that one if you want. But give me TCU to win this game also. Over-under is 63.5.
I'm going to say over.
Listen, you took it from me. I was thinking over too, and I know that's crazy, but when Baylor and SMU was 48-45, like, yeah, it was in double overtime, but still, that's still over 100 points before overtime hit. Crazy. So I see it in this game as well. Moving on from there, we have, okay, this is a fun one. This is one that honestly we probably shouldn't talk about, but I want to, selfishly. Another 11 o'clock game. We've got North Texas at Army here. Now, North Texas just got done beating Washington State 59-10, which is absolutely unbelievable. And then Army's coming off a bye week, but before that, they beat Kansas State by 3. It is at Army. It's a 1.5-point spread in Army's favor. ESPN is split down the middle at 50% for each team, so this is a true toss-up here. What do you like here? Are you going with North Texas or our Service Academy and Army?
Well, look, this is another fantastic American conference matchup, right? And this is why out of all the G5 leagues, this is my favorite league to watch, is because you've got a lot of top end talent. I think North Texas has a lot of potential to compete for the American this year. And then don't forget Army, man. They've been really good for a couple years straight now. They're cooking up something really nice up there in West Point. We know this on the line of scrimmage. Army's won. They've won before the game's even going to kick off. They are physical as all get out, man. There is nobody who's going to out tough Army in any situation. And they're going to slow this game down and make it super uncomfortable for North Texas. At the end of the day, I'm leaning Army, but only because of travel. If this game was taking place in, I think they're in Arlington, but down in North Texas, I'd be taking the Mean Green. But because they're going up to West Point, I'm going to take Army to win this game in like again, ugly, slow, grinded out type game. But I like the servicemen from West Point.
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. Now, keep in mind, Army did lose in week 1 to Tarleton State, 30-27 in double overtime by a last-second field goal here. Meanwhile, North Texas comes into this game undefeated. Give me North Texas to win. I love Army, and you're right. They have been unbelievable for the past couple of years. They were a fringe sort of maybe possible playoff team, midway, 3/4 of the year last year. Kind of fell apart the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season. But I like the Mean Green here in North Texas. Like what they did to Washington State. You can say whatever you want to about Washington State, okay?
Yeah.
That's an impressive win to me. And also like they score points, right? Now they beat Lamar, not Jackson, the university, 51-0, and then they beat Western Michigan 33-30 in overtime. So this team's kind of been battle tested, but it is going to be a tough game on the road. Here, hold on. I gotta say this because this is just unbelievable. What do you think the total passing yards for Army's quarterback is right now through 2 games?
Oh shoot! I'm gonna go with 38 yards.
Okay, all right. That did not go the way I want to. 129 through 2 games.
Okay, I didn't give him enough credit.
Meanwhile, North Texas has almost 800.
Well,
So
yeah,
because it's a normal offense. No,
yeah.
no. So we're splitting it here at I'm going North Texas. Quinn's going Army, in this one. Moving on to a 2:30 matchup. Guess what, Quinn? We have an SEC showdown here. We have got newly ranked Auburn. I guess they were ranked last week, I guess, at 25. But 3-0 Auburn on the road at number 11 Oklahoma. It's a 2:30 matchup. Oklahoma is a 6.5-point favorite with an 65% chance to win, according to ESPN.
Yep. It should be 95% chance, and they're going to cover that 6.5. Look, I've been saying it all off season, and I know that they beat Baylor, and I'm shocked they did it. But this Auburn team is not as good as everyone thinks they are, and this Oklahoma team is better than everyone thought they would be. Oklahoma, I'm standing firm on this. I've been beating this war drum for them, and it's been a hard battle to fight because they've been pretty average the last 2 years as they're readjusting for the Venables experience. But I've been beating the drum that Oklahoma was going to win this conference before Texas. I've been beating the drum that after they've been in the league for 15 years, you're going to look at it and go, why did I ever think Texas would be a better team than Oklahoma? Because they've never been a better team than Oklahoma. Oklahoma owns Texas in the last 50-something years, right? And they have finally, in the Venables era, put it all together and are playing like, Oklahoma. When you go and look at since the BCS started in 1998, Oklahoma's a top 5 program in terms of just success. They're behind Alabama, Ohio State, LSU. That's it. Oklahoma is a really, really, really good football team. They own Auburn. They've always beat Auburn when they play them, and it's not going to change. Auburn's going to go up to Norman and get beat like a drum. I expect Oklahoma to win this game by at least 3 touchdowns, and that's a promise. Jackson Arnold against the Brett Venables defense, game over. At least 3 turnovers. I'm calling it right now.
Wow. You were very adamant about this game. I was not expecting it to be like that when it
No,
comes to
this
your
game
take on
will
this
not
game.
be close.
I think Oklahoma wins. Let's just say that. Okay. And I think the reason why Auburn has a ranking right now is one of those benefit of the doubt things of, hey, they're an SEC team. They beat Baylor, who then beat SMU, who was ranked 15th. So therefore, they should be a pretty decent ball team. Baloney. I hate that. This is why I don't think ranking should be a thing until like week 6, because you get these top 25 matchups for TV purposes when they're really not top 25 matchups. I don't think Oklahoma wins by 21 points here. I've got I've got I've got Oklahoma winning by about 10. Is my go-to here. Auburn's a feisty team, man. Like they're better this year than they were last year. Um, I've seen the improvement. I expect it to continue over the course of the next couple of years, but I don't think Auburn's there yet to be able to compete with somebody like Oklahoma. You said it best. Venables finally has an offense, and that's been the one thing that has really, really held Oklahoma back. Their defense has always been there and always will be there with Venables there as a head coach. They finally got him a quarterback who, in Quinn's case, thinks he's a Heisman Trophy winner, or I guess candidate.
I think he's
Um,
definitely going to be in New York at the end of the year.
I think so too. Barring a catastrophic 3 or 4 game stretch, I think he's definitely there as well.
Let me put it this way, and I don't like to draw from last year to this year, especially because the roster's changed so much with the NIL era and stuff. But Oklahoma quite literally could have just played Auburn last year with Auburn's offense versus Oklahoma's defense and won the game. And the reason I know that is because that's what they did. Their offense didn't do anything. Their defense won the game by themselves. So, and oh man, what quarterback did Oklahoma have last year? I'm just,
A turnover machine, and I'll stand on that because we had some people comment saying, "Oh, he only threw 3 interceptions." Yeah, but he also had 6 fumbles, which, by the way, is the most ever in Oklahoma history for a quarterback. Okay, so that's 9 turnovers on the year. So you don't come at me with that. Oh, he wasn't turnover prone BS there. Moving right along here, after we got done talking Oklahoma and Auburn, very good discussion there. Tulane, okay, this is another American SEC showdown here. We've got Tulane at Ole Miss at 2:30. Ole Miss is 11.5 point favorite with an 86% chance to win, according to ESPN. Ole Miss comes off of a thrilling win over Arkansas over the weekend. And then Tulane comes off a Power 5 upset over Duke. 34 to 27, which, to be honest, Tulane was only a 1.5 dog in, so not that big of an upset.
yeah. Let me ask you this, just because you've got the ability to use the good old research computer machine for me, real quick. Do we know the quarterback situation for Ole Miss going into the game?
Um, I don't know 100%. That probably won't be released until probably Wednesday, I would say.
Well, let me say this then. If Ole Miss is starting their starter, they cover. If they're not, they win, but barely. I think that's the difference of the game. Look, from a roster perspective, Ole Miss just matches up. It's just too big, too physical for Tulane. I love what Summerall's doing at Tulane. I really, really do. And I think that's another team in the. I'm telling you, the American's going to be deep this year, and they might just pull what they did last year and beat each other up, and nobody gets to go to the playoff. But I just don't think they have the roster ability to match up with Ole Miss in this one. Ole Miss's offense is just so explosive, and I like Ole Miss to get the job done.
Interesting matchup here, dude. I think Ole Miss wins, and yeah, like I did a quick Google search, and yeah, we don't know yet if who will be playing quarterback for Ole Miss. It doesn't matter. I still think they win the game. But again, we mentioned this with the Memphis Arkansas game. Tulane's in a great position here to make the playoffs as the Group of 5 conference champion. Um, it's a tough conference that they have to go through, right? Like you got Tulane, USF, Memphis, like all these teams that are vying for that one spot in the college football playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. But I've got Ole Miss rolling in this game. I think they cover the 11.5. It's probably a 17-point win. Is probably my guess as of right now.
Yeah, I'll just give a spoiler to everybody out there. Just get ready for a lot of American versus American conference coverage here on Three Bold Takes because we all have like a soft spot for this conference.
Yeah, absolutely.